This week's Parshat Tzav, as many Parshiot in Sefer Vayikra do, talks extensively about korbanot. One of the korbanot it discusses is the korban zevach hashlamim, the offering of well-being. When it comes to this offering of well-being, the Torah very clearly emphasizes that the person who sacrificed it must actually be the one who brings it to the Mizbeach. It says, "Hamakrib et zevach shlamav laHashem yavi et korbano laHashem mizbeach shlamav." This is interesting because it's in contrast to the korban chatat, the sin offering, and also the guilt offering, korban asham, where the person who is presenting the sacrifice brings it to the Mishkan or to the Beit Hamikdash, and the Kohen takes this animal that is to be sacrificed and brings the animal to the Mizbeach. So the person who's bringing the sacrifice is not actually the one who takes the animal to the Mizbeach. So the question I was left with is, why is this zevach hashlamim, this offering of well-being, so special that the person bringing it can take it all the way to the Mizbeach without any assistance from the Kohen? So my answer is that there's something especially unique about a sacrifice of well-being, a sacrifice in peacetime, which is not necessarily the result of something miraculous. You're not thanking God for saving your life or for rescuing you from a dangerous event, and you're also not atoning for some egregious sin. It just really shows that you're in touch with Hashem even when you're not suffering. Maybe you might even feel like you have less of a need for God's presence in your life. It's easier to forget God. One can remember to bring a sacrifice of sin, and so since you're already conscientiously thinking, oh, I'm bringing the sacrifice of sin because I've sinned and I feel bad about it, you can just drop it off and let the Kohen handle it. But to bring the shlamim, man must do the process entirely by himself, without any assistance. There's a famous saying, there are no atheists in the trenches, which is basically saying it's easy to think of God when we've wronged or when we're in times of need. But Judaism values effort to remember God even when we're happy and content, when nothing is going on. And if you think about this, it's kind of comparable to, the high holidays. Everyone goes to shul on the high holidays on Yom Kippur because you're being judged. But what about, an ordinary Sunday in March where there's really nothing going on? One who drags his or herself to shul on that early Sunday morning, you might have a lot of schoolwork, but you're taking the time to think of God, is someone who really doesn't require the assistance from the Kohen Gadol. So this is comparable to the Zevach HaShamim. This person is so in touch with God that the person doesn't even need the Kohen's assistance. So if we can take time in our daily lives to remember God, even for small things, for things that seem ordinary, not miraculous, even when everything is going great, and create our own version of a korban shlamim, we will be able to establish a more personal connection with God that doesn't require a Kohen's assistance or a rabbi's explanation. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.